and welcome back to Cooking with Januka 1. No, not really. As promised, I'm going to be doing a book review. But because of the fact of real life is what it is, and I'm very busy, and it is 9:30 at night, I just got home, and unpacked groceries, and, you know, in the process of cooking, multitasking is the name of the game when it comes to adulting, fandom, hobbies, mental health, you know, all those fun things. Mental health, not fun, but still, you know what I'm saying. Jareth, you're not cute. Get out of the kitchen. You're not cute. Get out of the kitchen. Anyway, so I am going to be doing prepping and multiple cooking things. This is not an instructional video. This is me multitasking as I talk to you about this book review, and actually mental health and audiobooks at the same time, because hey, yes, you get me at the end of a work day. I've not sat down yet. Worked full day, ran errands, then went to the special hell that is Walmart. Dear God, if only I knew how to cry. And then got home, unloaded the car, put up all the groceries, you know, and then I'm starting the prepping work. So, that's where this video is coming to you from. So yes, better than at least on my phone, I'll at least get to edit this later. As previously stated, we are going to be discussing this book. Before this one I read Her Name in the Sky, which is pretty much the exact polar freaking opposite of this book. But yes, it is. Her Name in the Sky is, up until now, has always been my favorite LGBT book, and actually one of my favorite books, period. Well, this one is now right up there with it. And I really, really loved it and highly recommend it. So yeah, bear with me while I get stuff ready. I don't mind getting dirty, but I don't like staying dirty. I don't like texture. I'm hungry. I'm cooking, but I haven't eaten. Stand your ground. Stand up when it's all crashing down. And also, you will have to forgive me because I'm not necessarily very good at multitasking. If I trail off or anything like that frequently, if I say the word a lot, as I am known to do, you will just have to deal. So, I read Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is a debut novel by the author, who is apparently kissed by God twice over because it was freaking amazing. I aspire to that level. It just leaves you with, you know, complete writer's angst because of the fact of, I will never be that good. Which is unfair to do to myself, but every writer does, unfortunately. So it's just like, hey, I found a new novel that I fucking love. I should just give up on writing. So, let me back up. Let's start with mental health. So, I have really bad depression, like really bad depression, and I have been in a very bad downswing past couple of weeks. But as far as my mental health goes, one of my typical signs as far as my mental health was always tied to either my eating habits or impulse buying, which I've done, crappy eating and impulse buying lately. At least I recognize the problems or the symptoms of the problem. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm doing anything about it. So, but one of the things as far as my mental health goes and my eating habits is I go for, and a lot of times I'll be eating either because of the fact of you have to feed the machine, and I don't really care what I'm eating because I'm just sort of like a zone the frack out when I'm, you know, generally eating. I don't remember later on if I ate or not because I wasn't paying attention because I didn't care. But when that happens is I usually part of my eating habits go to crap is because of the fact of I'll start eating out a lot more because of the fact of I don't want to eat. So I definitely don't want to make any effort to eat. So I don't want to cook. and therefore I will eat whatever is just the most convenient and easiest. Which, even trying to save money and eat at home, you'll still have like a stable of, with that in mind, easy, which is of course like frozen stuff, which is not healthy, a lot of times, and high in sodium, and expensive all in its own right. And so which case, numerous years ago, I learned, because again, during the week, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I have depression, I don't want to cook. I had tea. Does that count as a meal? No? Darn. So basically I had a day of the week that was my cooking day, and that was on Sundays. Cooking a whole bunch of different frickin' things. Casseroles and everything else. No, you're gonna be okay anyway. And so then I would like make up mixed vegetables in snack bags and just all kinds of stuff, so that during the week, literally all I had to do was open the fridge and grab something, which is what matters when I have depression. But doing it this way, I also had control of making sure I was actually eating healthy, because hey, your eating habits and sleep habits help or hurt your depression like a bitch, right? It just don't stop. I'm not an expert on, handling my own depression, because if I was, dear God, I would make millions. I just had the thing. What was I saying? I got distracted because knife. I also have ADHD. I don't remember where I was going with that. I don't remember what I said. Welcome to life in my brain. I may be repeating myself here, but as far as, making sure I eat is, I cook all one day, and I cook like a whole bunch of different things, so that basically I don't have to make any effort, because you cook once, eat all week, right? And which is freaking fantastic, because I am not the best at adulting. Like, I'm just bad at it. I have to make myself lists, and I have to set alarms, and I have to set a backup alarm for the first alarm, because I'm not going to remember having turned the first alarm off. I've got events on my calendar that I can visually see that's hanging up on the wall, and I've got, more calendar alerts that are in my phone. Jareth, you are not God's gift to the planet, cat. Damn it, I did it again. Welcome to my fucking life. Also, at this point, my Adderall has worn off because it's 9:38. In order to take better care of myself, I set lots of alarms and calendar alerts and everything else. I have an alarm on my phone, which has already gone off, telling me it's time to start getting ready for bed, followed by another one that says, hey, it's time to go to bed. Because if not, ADHD is fun, because it's not, squirrel, like people want to say, or the fact of, okay, if you're just being a little bit forgetful that day, if you've got ADHD, bitch, I will fucking cut you. I will come for you and your whole family. It just burns my waffles. So, basically is yes, a mixture of, okay, I get easily distracted. Suddenly brain thought out my head. It's just gone. And then, but then also there's the exact opposite of the fact of, okay, part of what makes ADHD and depression so exhausting is the fact of it takes so much more time and effort to get focused, so you can concentrate on something. There's usually a lot of which doesn't make sense if you're not, if you're neurotypical, which, God, what must that be like? I can't imagine. Seriously, I can't imagine. So there's a whole lot of mental working up to getting started on stuff. It doesn't matter, 'cause darling, we're all a little splintered and battered. And I was going somewhere with it, and I don't remember what now. Damn it. See, this is what happens. My Adderall is gone. So, oh, yes. But the exact opposite end of the spectrum with ADHD is the fact of, okay, once we actually are able to get to concentrate on something, it's hyperfixation. And basically is the fact of, okay, you ask me, well, one, I have very, very bad concept of time and the passage of time, period. But when it comes to, once I'm finally able to actually concentrate on something, then I will tell you, I sat down 20 minutes ago and look up and it's 3 a.m. And it's just like, the fuck? Like, who is responsible for this nonsense? I want their name, their number, and their mother's phone number. And so, of course, you know, getting medication for the ADHD helps with the depression because of the fact of, okay, you expend a lot of fucking extra energy during a day than a normal person does because of the fact of, analogy. Yes, we're all walking through the same mud puddle, right? Except I'm a Dachshund and you're a Doberman Retriever, or Doberman Pinscher. There we go. Your legs and power and strength are a lot bigger than mine, so it's easy for you to walk through the mud. Me, I'm trudging. So yeah, we went through the exact same thing. It was a lot harder for me. And anybody who says otherwise, we can talk. I say as I wave around a knife, and my southern drawl comes out because I get mad. As far as maintaining my mental health and depression, which is not easy, and that's with me taking medication and, you know, being carefully monitored and everything else like that. I still struggle because, hey, you're always in the ocean, whether it's a stormy day or a calm day. You never leave the ocean. I've gotten ways of basically, okay, this is, I know how it works for me as far as both maintaining my ADD and my depression, you know, on top of the fact of life is just freaking damn busy. So, in order to make sure I eat normal, or relatively normal and healthy, is I have to make it as easy as possible for me, which includes basically cooking in bulk. If I want to sleep regularly, I have to set alarms. Set alarms about get ready for bed, go to bed, set multiple alarms for in the mornings to get up, because me and mornings don't mix. Like, you know, I know other people aren't morning people. No, you don't understand. I get up and I'm working on autopilot. Generally, I don't remember my morning. That's how much me and mornings are not friends. Which is why I have to have a set routine in place because of the fact of, no, I'm going to be that fucking groggy and that fucking out of it. That I may or may not remember that morning, other than like a vague idea. And so it's best if, you know, not only is food cooked or whatever, but I've already got my lunchbox fixed for the next day. Like, all I gotta do is grab shit. You know, you figure out a system, right? Same goes for enjoying your hobbies. And so, Red, White, and Royal Blue is not my first book, or my second book of the year. Because I already did Her Name in the Sky, which was posted 2 weeks ago. No, this is actually, so far I've read 11 books this year. And today is 29th. And I've read 11 books so far in January. And you're probably going, what the fuck? How? Tell me your secrets. Multitasking. Same as I am doing right now. You know, same as I'm doing when I'm at Walmart, you know, or driving or commuting or on my lunch break or anything else because of the fact of, okay, or like in between patients at work, I'm usually writing or studying to improve as a writer. Because multitasking is about the only way child, if you don't get out of my kitchen, Roxanne, gone. You're not cute, gone. Out of my kitchen. Heifer. But multitasking is how I'm able to read as much as I do, or how I'm able to study, or how I'm able to write. Because otherwise, I would not get to do any of the things I love. I would just be doing the things I have to do, and as is required by life. Which, you know what, God, how do you feel about constructive criticism? I just want to talk. I listen to audiobooks. Some people are very anti and they've got reasons for it, but of course it's the fact of, okay, you're probably sitting there alone in your room while you're listening to this, and you don't need to, and you're probably thinking to yourself that, okay, the fact of I could read this faster. Valid. But, you know, there's other people who have, you know, dyslexia or learning disorders or any other visual disability, or they've got anxiety or, you know, any number of reasons that audiobooks for them are just freaking lifesavers. And then of course, you know, you've got other folks who are just like, hey, I am super busy and I don't have time to read. So then at that point, audiobooks are super helpful. Because like I said, it is the 29th and I've already read 11 books. How? Audiobooks. When? Pretty much all the freaking time. I listen to them in the car on my way to work. I listen to them on the way home. I listen to them while I'm walking around the very special hell that is Walmart. As I, you know, block out the screaming children and the nonsense noise and everything else that stresses me out. Because, hey, also ADHD brain, that's not fun. Because of the fact of your brain is trying to basically process all of it at the same time. Like other people may just hear or register the stuff in their general vicinity. No, I hear everything. And it's so loud I can't think. You know, and keep in mind, this is not something I have control over. Because I have to take, again, medication so I can go to sleep at night. Because otherwise my brain is like a computer with 6 open tabs. And you have to go through the mental process, almost like meditation, of mentally closing each of the individual tabs. And then focus on keeping them closed, because otherwise they will reopen. And in which case, several tabs will reopen and you won't even realize it at first. Because it's so gradual, like turning up the volume real slow. In which case, of these 5 open tabs, one of them is playing music, but you can't figure out which one or how to make it stop. Or the fact of even after you've closed all the tabs, you've got music playing and you can't figure out why. You know, or the fact of you awake from a dead freaking sleep thinking the neighbors are blasting music. And no, it's just in your head. Your brain is blasting music too loud. Usually something on repeat. And it's just like, you know what, this is a great song, but not at 3 a.m. No, here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to do that. Does your brain listen? No, because it's a bitch. In which case, you're probably thinking about the fact of, okay, she chops really slow. I chop quiet. Because again, with noise. So I don't want to hear the chop, 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 chop. That will just make me go like, really fast. And so I'm careful in how I chop, which takes a lot fucking longer. What the fuck ever, welcome to my life. Which is why we multitask. So I have read, I read Her Name in the Sky and then turned around and read Red, White, and Royal Blue. Because I've been meaning to read that, and people just kept talking about how freaking amazing it was. And it was. It's super cute, guys. It's in a fictional world where Trump is not president. I wish I could live there. And then it's, the president is actually a woman, but she's not Clinton. It's actually, she's divorced, which is even more amazing. Mixed ethnicity family. And they're from Texas, which is, you know, they're Southern on top of that. And I'm just like, yes, y'all. I'm not from Texas, but it starts off like with a royal wedding coming up, that Alex and his sister, and their friend, what they call the White House Trio, and it's Alex, Nora, and Adderall is gone, I can't remember. June, thank you. June is his sister, Nora is their best friend. Yes, there. And so the three of them, Nora is the vice president's granddaughter. So in which case they're having to go to England because of the fact of, hey, royal wedding! And Alex has a deep, deep, deep hatred of royals. Yeah, it screams of issues. The fact of, no, we're gonna need to get back to this because you have a lot of feelings for somebody you say you don't care about, you know, or something you don't care about and don't like and want nothing to do with. You've apparently given it a lot of thought and a lot of feelings. And the fact of, you know, usually when that happens, it's the exact opposite. Like, you know, Bromleys, when they talk about Misha Collins or they hate him and how, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's the fact of, okay, if you hate him so much and his character, damn, you talk about him all the fucking time. He goes to this royal wedding and he has an issue with Prince Henry for reasons. And he's remembering at one point is talking about the fact of, okay, his sisters, J14 magazines. Oh my God, how many of y'all remember those? They don't make those no more. But yeah, no, him mentioning that just like made me feel old because of the fact of, I was like, I know what the fuck you're talking about. I never got them, but I know what the fuck you're talking about too. NSYNC and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Always just be me. Let's get this heart beating faster and faster. So testosterone boys and Harlequin girls. This is the long part as far as prepping goes because the rest of it at that point is just going to be, you know, cooking all the individual vegetables. By the way, kitchen staples that are also always really helpful to me is generally try to keep, you know, stuff that are, you know, pantry staples are, you know, of course, broths. You can either have the Grandules or you can have this, cans of like diced tomatoes, dried beans, things that don't have to be refrigerated like onions and lemons and limes. Don't like texture. Yes, I will do this multiple, many times. No, darn it. Wrong button. No, you heifer, you already ate. Girls. Sit. Stay. Stay. Jareth, this is not for you. You are a cat, not a dog. We've had this discussion. We have it almost every day. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, Jareth thinks he's a dog. But he's also been raised around dogs and doesn't know he's a cat. I mean, some stuff is just, I guess, instinctual, like screaming at 3 a.m. But other than that, he doesn't know he's a dog, or not a dog. And he thinks he's a dog. He even wags his tail like a dog. Okay, the wedding. Like, I knew I was gonna like this book anyways, just because sarcasm is the way to my heart. And, you know, fast witty dialogue, sarcasm, and everything else. I'm just like, no, I love these people already. I would die for them. And so, as I was listening, you get to the wedding, which you know is gonna be fun. Because of the fact of, no. I have seen enough Jennifer Lopez rom-coms to know how this ends. And it ends about the way you would expect. With a huge, massive public, you know, issue that ends up in the tabloids or all across the newspapers and, you know, requires a lot of PR and, you know, cleanup and everything like that. So that Alex and Prince Henry are forced to basically, in order to downplay the huge faux pas, is they have to basically, they go from enemies to fake friends. Yeah, this is an enemies to lovers book, except for the fact that there's a fake friends in the middle. You know, basically smile for the camera while they're threatening each other under their breath, that type thing. I loved it. So that ends up basically them having to be fake friends, and like Alex makes the point to Henry, I don't think you get this. This is not a one weekend thing to basically cover up for the wedding. This is something we're going to be stuck with because of the fact of, okay, if I just, if we've spun this story for them and the fact of, no, we're total besties. Absolute best friends. Right, best friend? The fact of, okay, but then I don't see you again after this weekend, they're going to know we're full of shit. I'm like, you're politicians. Of course you're full of shit. And he's part of the royal family. I mean, come on. That's just part of the whole silver spoon in the mouth type bit. Partially is Alex's description of the royal family and part of why he hates them so much. Or hates all royals. But especially this one. I hate all royals, but especially this one. For no reason that's important. Just cause. Just cause. I hate his whole face. If you don't get out of my kitchen, child, I'm going to drop kick you like a football. You're not cute. Get out of my kitchen. Heifer. And so, they sort of at that point realize, oh, well, no, there's another situation in the fact of, okay, well, they're having this huge heart to heart, or the fact of, not even heart to heart, but the fact of, I'm just going to cut it to you straight. I don't like you. This is the reasons why. The fact of you're a dick. I hold a grudge. But they keep ending up in these conversations, or like basically these moments where they're on the floor, sprawled together, because of the fact of, no, there's usually crash landing into each other. And the fact of, no, this particular heart-to-heart happens to be happening in a broom closet after they got shoved in there by a bodyguard. Because of a possible, situation that could endanger either of their lives. And so it's a super small closet, so they can't really get up to try and disentangle themselves. So they're basically just like, well, this is our lives. We've come to accept it. His elbow is totally in my ribs and is gonna bruise my heart. It's that far into my ribs. The fact there is no way of disentangling ourselves or getting comfortable, like, ouch. And the fact of they've just, accepted that this is their lot in lives and they're clearly exist to just make the other one miserable. That clearly God hates them. This is their punishment. They go from that to actually being like the cutest effing love story ever. And it's just, God, it's so good. While at the same time juggling, politics as Alex's mother is fixing to go on the campaign as far as for getting reelected for her second term. Dealing on top of that, you've got dysfunctional families because of the fact of, like, Alex's mom and dad. Yeah, they don't get along so well. They're fine so long as they're not in the room together. And they do that thing where basically is the fact of, okay, if the kid gets on their nerves, they call them by the other parent's last name. Whereas, in the South, if your parent calls you by your full name, you better go and give your soul to Jesus because your ass is theirs. Alex and Henry could not be more different, but the longer they go and they get to know each other more and become like genuine friends and argue over which Star Wars movies is the best, and the fact of, no, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. He's like, how can I be wrong? You asked me which was my favorite, not which one was the best. Yeah, but you're wrong. And it's just, they're super fucking cute, and, there's so many text messages, and a lot of their conversations, of course, are text messages or email correspondence, especially once they get together. So you have, slowly as all this is happening, you've got back and forth clandestine meetings. No, really, they go from enemies to friends with benefits, to, like, I don't even think they fucking realize they're in love with each other. Alex starts having to deal with, Alex has always known he was going to go into politics, and same as Henry knows he's always going to be, part of the royal family, and, carefully navigating all that hot mess. Easiest way to do that sometimes. Hold on, hold on. Alex and his family are, you know, fairly typical, despite the fact of, okay, his mom literally has to, like, basically make the point of, okay, taking off the president title and hat, putting on the mom hat, you know, and the fact of, how was your day? You know, and the fact of, no. There's a complete difference depending on how she'll deal with them regarding if she's dealing with them as a mom or if she's dealing with them as the president. In which case, of course, she will make the distinction a lot of times, especially when shit goes down, is the fact of, you know, as your mother, these are my feelings on it. But as the president, you have got me in a bind. Which especially comes into play later on when Alex and Henry are basically having to deal with their relationship being known publicly. But you've got Alex, at least, is in a lot better boat because of the fact of, hey, royals being queer, yeah, that's not gonna fly. Not so much, you know, because you're expected to, I don't know, be married to the crown and make babies, and you know, smile at PR events. I love the fact of, you know, even though she's the president and this might be putting her complete re-election on the chopping block, or might just straight up devastate it. She's like, I want to know what you want to do. I want to know your feelings, and then you're going to make the call. And whatever it is, that's what we're going to do. And I'm just like, points to you, Mom! Which I thought was personally awesome, especially if you're one of those people who's grown up with homophobic parents, that is the fact of that happening. Ha! Henry, on the exact opposite hand, of course, is, you know, he's a royal. You don't get to be queer. Despite the fact of, okay, he's not even first in line for the throne. So he's like the youngest. I mean, he ain't seeing that throne ever. Even still, there's all these expectations and demands and the whole, you know, public mask and, you know, your real face. The personas that you have to put on. You know, customer service and emotional, labor. Though I do that because, like, again, I work with patients, I work with people, we're in the public service, you know, or in customer service, whatever. And I accidentally, at one point, it was funny because my mom called me. I just clocked out, but I was still not out of the mindset yet. And I accidentally answered the phone in my work voice. And she was just like, Tanoko? And she was like, okay, that was creepy, don't do that again. Is that what you sound like normally when you talk to patients? I'm just like, you mean polite and cheerful and like I love my job? She's like, yeah, that's creepy, don't do that. You know, Henry has to deal with a very, again, complete polar opposite situation as Alex does. And they're just, you at this point are just so stupid, head over heels in love with him because of the fact of, okay, their text messages, their emails, you know, the playful banter back and forth, the way they end up quoting, like, all these famous people in, like, queer history and shit, at the end of, like, each of their emails, which made me want to just go immediately go to the library and look up every book on all of these people ever, because of the fact of, I am learning new things. The history is gayer than I was ever told in school. From the very first minute, this book don't stop. Child, that is not a cat bed. That's the bag for the cold groceries. Why are you lying on it? He's like, 'cause humans used to worship us and I'll do what the fuck I want. That's a good point. And so the book itself is just, oh my god, it's so good. As if, okay, either something humorous is about to happen and you can see it coming and you can't stop it, like a slow-mo of a train wreck about to happen. Which, first scene at the wedding, I like had my hands covering my face. Like I'm not gonna see it, like I'm watching a movie or whatever. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no! Oh no! And the fact that, of course, the story keeps going and it's just slow-mo, there's no stopping it. And I'm just like, oh my god! It was fantastic. But that's pretty much how the book goes. There's all kinds of different high stakes which I think is part of why it works so well. The story is juggling so many things. His mother's political career and her campaign to get reelected is juggling the fact of, okay, this is his career dream and him being part of, he now works as part of her campaign staff, as part of his dream to become a politician. You know, he has a 5-year plan. He has binders. His binders have binders. His binders have like a, child, if you don't get out of my kitchen. Always keep a squirt bottle. It's just water. You've got Alex juggling, you know, his career, his mother's, this situation with his mother's career and current events and politics and stuff like that. And, you know, on top of that, you've also got, okay, this juggling friendship with Henry. You have the Washington trio, which is Alex, his sister June, and their friend Nora, also becoming friends with Henry. And so the fact of, okay, it's like there's a whole squad at this point, and it's great. So I mean, this book goes enemies to lovers, friends to benefits, you know, absolute OTP, true love, but it's also got found family, you know. And so there is literally, this book was made specifically with me in mind, and it was an attack, and I am mad. Even the bodyguards, you end up basically being like, yes, this, good. And then on top of the fact of, okay, I know I mentioned the fact that, okay, Alex is biracial, all kinds of diversity in the book. Nora is bisexual, you know, Alex, late on the pickup of the fact that he's bisexual, oblivious, right over his head, never noticed. Just the fact is, I never really thought about it, I was too focused on politics. Because that is literally pretty much his whole reason, is the fact of, I never noticed, I was too focused on politics in my career. You know, I didn't have time for a crisis. I was going to be in Congress. So his bodyguard, of course, you know, that's diversity. But then it's the fact of, okay, she's this badass bodyguard who, you know, could kill you with a pen. And he's seen her basically, you know, kill people with pens. But then, you know, as they're like on the plane, she's sitting there knitting a sweater. Because of the fact of, no. And he's just like, you terrify me in so many ways, especially because the fact of, I'm pretty sure I've seen you kill somebody with those exact knitting needles. But like I said, the dialogue, the humor, the fluff, all the tropes. Can I just tell you, like, this is just tooth rotting AO3 OTP, just, you know, oh God. You know, your faves could never. Like, I mean, it's just every trope. It was an attack. I was attacked. And I absolutely loved it. And so I dearly, dearly recommend you watch it. Read it. Listen to it. Yes. You can't watch it. It's a book. I do really, really recommend it. And it was fantastic and fluffy as hell. And just make you stupid, dopey grin in public kind of shit. Like, the fact of, okay, you can read smut with a straight face, but fluff just like has you making all kinds of stupid faces and covering your face. The whole book. And it's just so fucking cute. And I will continue to keep my word on book reviews that I will continue to do, though I will probably be multitasking. The last one I did on my phone, and while I was preparing to go to bed while I was still staying at my mother's. So the video quality is garbage. I was in pajamas. I'm in my pajamas now. This may just become a theme. It's a theme now. I'm just going to be in my pajamas for all of these now. Whether or not I was in them to begin with or not, I'm going to change into them just for you. We'll call it like a slumber party, but with book reviews. And possibly cooking with Tanoko 1, except she doesn't teach you anything. She just terrifies you with very sharp knives. Meme, what her doing? What her doing? Where's your sister? Roxanne! It's quiet. Too quiet. Where is everybody? Roxanne! Lucifer, come here! No, Mammy, Mommy not mad at you. You're a very good doggy and you always listen. Yes, that's a good pupper. Yes. Roxanne! Oh, wait, it's 10:40, never mind. Roxanne's old, and it's getting more and more evident she's getting older. And the fact of, okay, by the end of the day, she don't really want to move around too much. Like, you could probably threaten her with a TREAT, and she probably wouldn't move. She has trouble jumping up on the bed, and our mattress is on the ground. And she's still like, okay, when it's time to go to bed, she'll sort of like hop up like her front paws or whatever, but then she just like drops back down. And that's her way of letting you know, help me up. And so we'll have to pick her up and put her on the couch, or we'll pick her up and put her on the bed. Whereas, you know, the rest of the day, she's generally pretty good and still pretty life and everything like that. End of the day though, she's like, nope, don't feel good. I ain't doing it. Mamie, do you need to go outside? Is that why you're here? You're a cat, not a dog, Jareth. That was not for you. Mamie, do you need to go outside? Okay. Not you, you're a cat, not a dog. Not you, mister. You're a cat, not a dog. Get out of my kitchen. And I am going to end this book review here because at this point my brain is just sort of zoned out. Because I am super tired and I can't brain. May, come inside. Yeah, Jareth! Damn it! Asshole! Alright, you're gonna get cold and you're gonna get hungry. I'm gonna let you stay out there. Brat. That just burns my waffles. I hate when he does that shit. Because I worry about him going out to the road because he's an inside cat, and even when I found him, it was not in a suburban area. I found him out in the middle of the freaking woods in the middle of freaking nowhere. Because I'm the animal whisperer. Only I would go into the woods and come out with a kitten. Okay, Red, White, and Royal Blue is not a YA romance novel, and I thought it was at first. It's not. It's an adult romance novel. So yes, sexual situations involving consenting adults, though not nearly as graphic as you're used to with fan fiction, so don't, think anything about it. So, but yes, this is Tanoka 1 signing off as I continue cutting up a whole bunch of vegetables because I'm cooking for the entire next week for 2 people, me and my husband. So, but if you have any book recs, by all means, go ahead, though they will be on the very bottom of my to-be-read pile, which is very long already. So yeah, good night. I'm tired. Go read this. It's amazing! Officially read by Tanoka 1. Bye!